Athletics Now presents Running the Show, Week 3. We head to Hiroshima, Japan for the 17th Annual Interprefectural Men's Aikiden Race and check out the incredible 7-stage relay race. We next head a bit north to the city of Kyoto and check out the Empress Cup, which is a female version of the men's Aikiden relay. We then head to the western United States and check out the Armco Houston Half Marathon. Next is the Hanak Cross Cup in Belgium for supreme cross-country action. Then it's off to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and the São Sebastián 10K. Another stop finds us in Spain for the Course del Naso in Barcelona. Barcelona is also the host of the 34th Sant Antoni 10-kilometer race. And we have to check out the Culican Marathon and Half Marathon in Culican, Mexico. Hiroshima, Japan is the annual host of the 17th Annual Interprefectural Aikiden Championships for men. This year's race features 47 teams posting 7 different relay runners of various ages competing at distances of 3K to 13K. What makes this race really interesting is the teams are composed of junior high school runners up to the pro or Olympic ranks. The first relay leg is a 7-kilometer stump, which is run by top high school runners, while the second 3-kilometer leg is carried by a junior high school student who then passes off to an 8-kilometer high schooler, which is followed by another 5-kilometer high schooler. After that, it gets interesting as the 8.5 leg is run by an elite runner who passes to a junior high school kid who then gets to pass off to the final elite leg. Thrilling stuff, huh? This year's race lead changed often during the many stages, as Tokyo was out front but was unable to maintain the lead over Hyogo and Team Shikita. Sega took the lead at one time but then surrendered to Kumamoto. As the runners were coming to the end of stage 6, Aichi sprinted over Kumamoto, giving them a slim 6-second overall lead. But by the final leg, Yuya Ito of Aichi was running scared as there were 2 big guns on his back. The first was 2008 Olympian Kensuke Takazawa of the Hyogo team, and Tsuyoshi Ugachi, Japan's 10,000-meter record holder and the ace in the hole for defending champion Team Toshigi. But by the half of the final stage, it was Takazawa who was running the leader down. He passed at 9 kilometers and surged away, grabbing the championship for Hyogo. Final results: Tokyo in second, Kumamoto in third, and defending champions Toshigi in fourth. On to Kyoto on the ladies' side of the Aikiden, which is known as the Empress Cup. The first relay is a 6-kilometer stage and is filled with a number of Olympic runners and big city marathon winners. With a kilometer to go, Osaka's big star, Ryoko Kizaki, started to pull away from her competition and won the opening stage in 1921. The next stage was a 4-kilometer distance, and all eyes were on Kyoto and 30th and world junior champion Yuriko Kobayashi. However, Kyoto lagged behind. The race lead was being contested between Aichi in blue and Osaka in red, and it was anyone's guess until Osaka surprised everyone when Nozami Takahashi, the junior high school daughter of former marathon champ Maxwell Musambi of Kenya, took the baton and gave her team a 13-second lead over Aichi. Osaka tried to build up on this lead carved out by Takahashi, but by the end of the next stage, Aichi was still hanging close, while defending champion Kyoto had climbed back into the main mix. By stage 6, Haruka Kayuma of Kyoto and world junior champion 3,000-meter finalist was itching to get the baton and do some damage to the Osaka lead. At the end of the stage, she hacked 3 seconds off the Osaka lead, which was now 15 seconds. But by the final pass, Osaka was leading by 35 seconds. And despite Kyoto's big threat of a World University Games 10,000-meter champion on anchor, they never closed the gap. And by the end, it was Osaka that cruised into the stadium 56 seconds ahead as new champions of Japan. Running the show now heads to Rio and the race of San Sebastián. 8,000 runners take on the heat of the Brazilian summer as they contest in the disciplines of 5 and 10,000 meters. The heat is not the greatest of problems facing this course. Instead, it is the course elevation, making this one of the most difficult 10-kilometer prize races in the world. Out front on the men's side, 21-year-old Kenyan Joseph Kakakapin races away from eventual second-place finisher Gilmer Lopez. Joseph lands a 29.08, which is an amazing achievement on this tough course. On the ladies' side, 29-year-old Kenyan Elizabeth Chepkannon was all alone as she was able to easily defeat a mostly Brazilian field in this race of the hills. Elizabeth takes the win in a solid 34 minutes, 2 seconds. Running the show peeks into the Belgium city of Hanout and the Lotto Cross Cup. Kenyan Consensus Kipruto was able to outsprint compatriot David Bett and former Kenyan Alex Kibet, now of Qatar, to take the 6,000-meter win in 21:17. On the ladies' front, Valentin Kipketer of Kenya was able to hold off Aga Ruti of Ethiopia in the ladies' 6,000-meter challenge. Running the show stops in the beautiful Santa Pola, Spain, for the finish of the half marathon as Ethiopian Asefa Gebremariam outsprints homeboy Jagu Murga and Kenyan Kennedy Kamut. Running the show jumps to northwestern Mexico and the city of Culiacan and their annual marathon and half marathon, which attracts more than 5,000 runners annually. This year's half marathon was won by Sammy Rotich in a time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 15 seconds, while the full marathon course was won by Benjamin Kiplimo in a time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 40 seconds. Running the show turns to the United States and Houston, Texas, as we track the Aramco Houston Half Marathon. The Houston Half Marathon has turned into one of the fastest half marathons in the world, as this year's race posted awesome times on the men's side in the form of Ethiopian Faisa Laisa. It was clear that Faisa was on a record-breaking mission as he chased American Ryan Hall's 5-year-old course record solo. Laisa charged down the final stretch and destroyed the mark by a huge 21 seconds to finish in an awesome 59 minutes and 22 seconds. While on the women's side, it was a Texas-style ladies shootout as another Ethiopian, Belanesh Oliira, running her first USA race, was gunning for the course record set by American Shalane Flanagan and, of course, the course record bonus money. Oliira was being chased by 2011 Boston Marathon winner Caroline Kileo in the stretch, but she was not to be caught today. She finished in a course record time of 1:08:26. Running the show takes a look at 2 races in the beautiful city of Barcelona, Spain. First, there's the Course del Nassos, which is known as the Noses Race, which free plastic noses are given to more than 10,000 runners who participate. This year's event was won by local elite runner Carlos Salvador in a very respectable 29:29. While the women's honor were gathered by local Lydia Rodriguez. The next stop on our Barcelona Fun Festival finds us at the 9 a.m. start of the San Anton race, which attracts more than 4,000 runners who want to experience the early morning thrill of running through the streets of sleepy Barcelona. Moroccan Driss Lakoja was the winner of this year's event in 29:54, while Rachel Corrado earned the women's crown in 33:37.